Hello! It's Cinematic Gaming. In this video, we will take a look at Obsidian Entertainment's single-player RPG Avowed again. We will do open heart surgery, where's the scalpel, to find out whether this AAA RPG is a must-play. With its colorful art style, continuation of Pillars of Eternity lore, and a fresh new adventure in the world of Eora, Avowed does look enjoyable at first glance, but does it have the depth and innovation to truly stand out? And are there warning signs we shouldn't ignore? By the end of this video, you will find out if it is for you, and if it is worth playing. One of Avowed's most striking qualities is its bright, whimsical, fantastic, fantasy aesthetic, a departure from the darker tone teased in its reveal trailer. This obviously sparked a reaction among the people who were expecting Avowed to be Obsidian's take on a Scrolls-like RPG. The game turned out to be a far cry from Skyrim's dull color palette, as Obsidian looks to move away from the tag of Bethesda's more creative sibling. If you exclusively enjoy grim, gritty worlds in your RPGs, this might not be for you. Personally, I think the colors are just a bit on the shiny side. I would have loved a mixed palette of Witcher 3 and Skyrim to represent the world of Eora. Subjectivity aside, the world does look beautiful. I would say it is much closer to Pillars of Eternity 2. People who played the game have positively reacted to the vibrant flora, intricate architecture, and thoughtfully designed environments. The world is reportedly more interactive and encouraging to explorers compared to Obsidian's earlier games like The Outer Worlds. Thank God. There are no empty backdrops. Many players have reported finding loot at places that seemed inaccessible at first, but once you get there, you could climb a ladder or go to a lower level. The map seems to reward players who go off the beaten path. To me, that's a good sign, as I like to go sightseeing rather than just follow the main quest the whole time. The potential to find bits and pieces of lore and interesting interactions with NPCs when I explore the map does make me immersed in the world. Speaking of interactions, they look organic and not exclusive to quest locations or major settlements. For example, you might come across an unmarked tower where a sergeant trains his troops. Based on your actions, you will be challenged to a duel and get rewarded for your victory with a unique weapon upgrade. Unmarked, organic discoveries are essential for me when I play an action-adventure RPG, so these elements are always welcome. The map design is getting praised by everyone for its verticality. While the preview area wasn't enormous in terms of square mileage, players noted how its vertical layers and hidden nooks made it feel significantly larger. Skill Up shared a story where he tracked down a pyromancer's key. The chest it unlocked wasn't immediately nearby, pushing him to meticulously scour the map. After hours of searching and navigating complex terrain, he finally found the key in a hidden area obscured by the fog of war. This moment exemplifies the game's dense design philosophy, where exploration often leads to satisfying rewards. The most surprising of surprises for me has clearly been the combat. I do not expect great combat in this game, as I have very low expectations for first-person melee and spellcasting systems. I will only play this game for Obsidian's famous writing and the narrative depth of their story and characters. But the combat has been praised for its weighty animations, satisfying hit reactions, and convincing enemy physics. We've already seen the mechanics that add depth and strategy. Additionally, there's an option to dodge, which I did not expect, but it allows for fluid movement, while charged attacks deal extra damage or break enemy shields. Enemy stamina depletes over time, which opens them up for devastating combo attacks, something CRPG fans will greatly enjoy. The brief slowdown we have seen when landing a strike is apparently very satisfying, making each hit feel impactful. One of the things that actually makes me excited about Avowed is its build flexibility. Players can mix melee, ranged, and magic combat seamlessly, switching between two weapon loadouts on the fly. For example, you can alternate between a caster build, using a wand for basic attacks and a spellbook for heavy damage, and a melee setup with a mace and shield. Both approaches are viable and enjoyable, encouraging experimentation. I was afraid we would counter the same enemies over and over, leading to a mid-game slop, but the enemy variety is also notable in just the first area. Spiders, goblins, and humans are common foes, alongside larger challenges like a massive bear. You will often come across enemies where you are underleveled, forcing a strategic retreat as even basic enemies could knock you out in 2 hits. This early difficulty spike hints at a world where preparation and adaptability are key to survival. Now let's look at causes for concern. As impressive as Avowed is in many areas, it's not without its flaws. One major criticism is the UI. It looks poorly designed and aesthetically unappealing, especially compared to the rest of the game's vibrant world. It does not look current-gen at all. Character customization is also an issue for people who want to play as many of the races of yore, as you are limited to being godlike, which is kind of weird. Another really huge drawback is the game's performance. The game is locked at 30 FPS on consoles, a decision that feels outdated in an era where 60 FPS is becoming the standard for smoother gameplay. While this limitation may stem from the need to maintain visual fidelity, it risks alienating players who prioritize performance. I mean, what's up with Xbox's first-party offerings? I admittedly don't know about the technical side of things, but it feels like a joke in 2024. There are also lingering questions about the world's consistency and scale. While the first area impressed me with its density and verticality, I am curious whether this level of quality can be sustained throughout the entire game. Additionally, don't go into Avowed thinking it's a full-blown open world. It is zone-based. While exploration is encouraged in those large zones, the game imposes boundaries, and you will be disappointed if you expect a vast, sprawling open world. There's also the concern about the game's runtime, as it looks like a 30-hour adventure, and most people want more than that from a game they have paid more than $60 for, in terms of RPG length. It's not bad for something like, I don't know, Uncharted or Indiana Jones. That would make sense, but for something that's a spin-off of Pillars of Eternity, you would think that it should be more than 30 hours. A short content-rich game is worth more to me than a bloated open world where I need to collect 20 feathers to have enough power points for the next mission, of course. Looking at you, Dragon Age Inquisition. But the short campaign actually needs to be packed in the first place to have this argument. Besides, you can get the game on Game Pass anyway. I know you've waited, probably, for me to address the elephant in the room. I'm aware of the art director's political posts a bit, but I think the gameplay and things like that are more important. The game sucks, then I'll take that into much more consideration, of course. And I think my regular audience is mature enough to make their own decisions when it comes to cultural topics. Overall, I would say Avowed is worth it for people who are waiting for a new game set in the Pillars of Eternity universe. Yes, we did not get the trilogy, but this is the next best thing. If you like Obsidian's writing, map design, bright and colorful art styles, and experimenting with different builds, I would say it's top-notch. If you get a Game Pass for a month, Avowed is an accessible title to add to your RPG collection without the full price commitment. If your preference leans towards darker, grittier worlds like Skyrim or The Witcher 3, the bright, colorful aesthetic of Avowed might not resonate with you. Or the FPS that's only 30, locked on consoles, is a major deal-breaker for a lot of people prioritizing smooth, performance-driven gameplay. Avowed's zone-based structure may disappoint players expecting a sprawling open world. Being restricted to the godlike race and nothing else might frustrate a lot of original Pillars of Eternity fans. With an estimated runtime of 30 hours, some players might feel the campaign is too short for a big AAA RPG, especially for those paying full price. Those sensitive to real-world controversies might hesitate due to the backlash surrounding comments from the game's art director. There is also Obsidian's history of releasing buggy games, which might make you skeptical. February 2024 will also bring us the juggernaut that is Kingdom Come 2, which I am so excited for. It will be interesting to see how Avowed competes with that one. Let me know what you think in the comments.